Welcome back to another episode of The Clean Truth. I am Dawson Holt.
I am Ben Jones, and together we are live and in person with Reid and Cole Presley. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks for having us.
It's going to be a great time, so we're excited to have a little bit of a switch up. Be actually in person is really cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're in town for Music City Smackdown. We had an equipped camp that just happened as well. We're going to dive into all of those things, as well as a lot of a little bit of what your careers has entailed up until this point, and the little endeavors that you guys have been on along the journey. So
Absolutely.
We'll go ahead and dive into this weekend. So we had Music City Smackdown just wrapped up yesterday. Friday night of Smackdown, we had the equipped camp as well, which was super awesome. All four of us were there helping teach, as well as Jake and Avery, your siblings, of course. Great turnout as well. How'd you guys feel about the camp?
I thought the camp went really fantastic. It was really cool for Reid and I to have you guys be a part of it and kind of jump into the equipped world and be in that seminar with us. I think you guys killed it. Everybody enjoyed having you guys there. So I think Friday night went really well. And then we followed that with some competition for the first time at SmackDown on Friday. I feel like Friday was pretty awesome. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think, Cole said it excellently. The Equipped seminar was fantastic. It was a packed house. We were out in some little foyer area at a high school, and we kind of took over that area. And the kind of the purpose of this Equipped camp was really trying to emphasize the ways that you can do certain releases and kicks and ways to catch those techniques so that you can add value to your performance. And when we were thinking about how we could include these two fantastic martial artists, they both have like some of the most iconic methods of catching and throwing. And, so what better way to bring that value to all of those martial artists that were there? So it was a, surprise that Mr. Jones was going to be in the area, and these guys are like a dynamic duo. And so I'm just super excited that it happened. And I definitely appreciate it. And I've told you guys, in private, but also for everybody, especially with the knee situation, not being able to teach, it really was a blessing that you guys were there. And I'm glad that y'all let me teach for at least a half an hour. I was yelling at everybody on crutches, but, it was good. It was a good time. So
Yeah, 100%. I think it's cool, too, that this camp was a little bit of a different, approach in terms of what is taught. It's very easy for camp to just focus, basics, maybe even potentially performance and tricks, but just kind of seems like there's always a roadmap that everything takes. So from an instructor perspective, it was nice to have something that was a little bit different, but also something that is very, very valuable and very difficult to understand, like the different ways to throw and catch. And because you think about it, it's like you can catch here or you can catch here. Yeah. And if you think about it a lot more, then you can start to get into some different things, right? But and the performance aspect is such an important and big part of what we do, but one of the hardest parts of what we do.
yes.
And so to have that whole seminar or camp just be focused on that is a different type of approach, because usually we kind of drill our front stances, shifts, and chop punches and strikes, which all are obviously incredibly important.
Yes.
But these are some of the things that people miss all the time. So that was a cool approach. I really liked it.
I think ultimately it also builds more friendships with the people that are in the camps. That's how we started up. When we started going to NASKA tournaments, my first ever NASKA tournament, I went to the first competitive edge camp. So,
Wow.
and like going to winter camp, sorry, making you guys feel a little old here, but even the winter camps, yes, we started up together, and here we are now. Now we're teaching alongside that, which we will get to talking a little bit more about that soon.
Yeah.
But a tournament, speaking of Battle of Atlanta, it is the next tournament coming up in 2 weeks, and
Yes.
we are having another seminar once again. So, and it's going to be a very stacked list. So go ahead, you guys talk about that if you can.
Yeah, sure. Want me to-
Yeah,
I'll jump into it. I'll try not to leave anybody out, because it's like everybody's gonna be
one of the
teaching
most
basically.
stacked
Like
lists we've had in a
all of the competitive edge alums and Paul Mitchell members will be there. So start Mr. Ben Jones, Dawson Holt, Esteban Tremblay, Avery Presley, Philip Brume, myself, Cole, Avery, and Jake. And you never know if Mr. Jackson's going to get in there. You never know. He is a neurosurgeon. He might have some time, But I don't think I left anybody out. But that lineup, just wait till we post the flyer for it. You're going to get an opportunity to learn from the people who are dominating the sport, and have truly understood what it's like to go through, the full-fledged of fall in love with the sport, go to a competitive edge training camp, learn more, be around people, and get on Team Competitive Edge, continue to strive, continue to work, continue to reach their goals. Now they're on Paul Mitchell. Now they're winning. They're winning everything there is to win. They're teaching all over the world. It's just really cool to see that. And so, especially as we're getting older, I guess I'm in the senior division. It's really cool to see that the work that has gone into some of these camps, and so, yeah, I don't know. I kind of getting chills just talking about it, and the hard work that they do, and it just comes full circle,
100%. So another thing I wanted to start talking about was when we walked in here, before we got set up, there was a class going on, and it was an equipped class. So for you guys that started equipped years ago and made it to what it is now, if you guys can talk about what it is and what you guys are, what your goals have been, and how you guys have, what accomplishments you guys have made in this business.
Absolutely.
So,
Do you wanna go first?
Tackle the instructor and I can tackle the athlete, or
Sure.
okay.
All right. So Equipped, really the mission of Equipped is we know the value of sport martial arts and creative martial arts and what it can do for martial arts schools and martial artists. From the martial arts school standpoint, it provides a fun methodology to teach coordination, but ultimately build in that retention so that you can teach them traditional martial arts, or you can teach them self-defense or anything. It's a way to hook them, get them involved. And then for the athlete, for the martial artist, it's just fun. They enjoy it. They become, they get involved with the sport. They compete. They work on the hand-eye coordination. And it is just absolutely fantastic as a means to get people involved with martial arts. Now, Mr. Cole will talk about like the athletes and the students. So I'll talk a little bit more about the instructor side. We realized when we were working with Premier Martial Arts, we were getting to engage with 30 plus instructors every 3 weeks that were going out to teach in a bunch of schools that would come from a variety of backgrounds, whether it was Taekwondo, karate, kickboxing, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu. Like they would come from all over because the Premier Martial Arts system is it's a lot of martial arts into one for the full system. They're rock star martial artists, but then you put a bow staff in their hand, you put a kama in their hand, you put a nunchuck in their hand, and you see this confident Muay Thai kickboxer or this confident jiu-jitsu martial artist all of a sudden become very shy, reserved, and not want to get out there and shy away from it. So we realized in that moment that we have to help people, one of Cole's sayings, be confident and comfortable with sport karate, comfortable and confident. See, it's his saying, not mine. To be able to teach sport martial arts. We know that as instructors, people will not teach something if they are not comfortable with that something. And so that is our mission. We want to make sure that we empower martial arts instructors to know enough with the sport karate to actually teach it to those students. We do that through having an online library of tutorials and videos. And we also have a certification that covers everything that you need to feel confident to be able to then go teach that to your students.
Boom. And then the other wing of Equipped is focused more on the athletes and students at martial arts schools. So we have the weekly class that we run for bow and kamas right now, where if you're a student of martial arts, you're welcome in that class. We've got some really high-level people in that class. We've got some beginners in there. We've got drills to challenge everybody, and we work on getting new skills, learning new combos. It's a really fun class. Then we have our athlete training where we can zoom in just a little bit, do a one-on-one lesson weekly, so that we can get our eyes on what are you actually doing in competition, what do your strikes look like when you're performing, when you're adding that performance element to everything. So we've got those two different wings of athletes, but ultimately we started with the instructor and making that our main goal, and then we we realized that martial arts and sport karate as a whole had such a profound impact on us that we could really apply that to our private lessons and our student teaching also to multiply that impact. So we're doing it through instructors, but also, having that face-to-face conversation with students and athletes all together. So hopefully that gives you a quick summary of both sides of Equipped, but I think that's what I got.
That's awesome. Something you'll see in the comment here that I wanted to touch on, because I feel like something you guys do really, really well is sometimes it's hard to balance like the fun of it, but also like getting something out of it, making sure everybody's working really hard. So as you can see, we're appreciative of the fun and the hard work, right?
Yeah.
And so both of those are so essential, because like if you're not working hard, you're probably not making a lot of progress.
Right.
But if you're not having fun, just working hard, you're probably going to burn out and not fall in love with it. So it's going to be hard to commit and stick with it at that point. So that's something that is not easy to balance from an instructor perspective, but obviously, we got receipts right here that's working. So,
And that's Reid's mom. And
right.
Reid, if you look at Reid, how much that young athlete has improved. Not this Reid, the other Reid.
You added young in there.
Yeah, young Reid, not old Reid. If you look at how much that young man has improved over the past 3 years, that it's just awesome. It's just awesome. So shout out to Reid. Keep working hard. And Miss April.
Love it. Something that I wanted to ask about, because then I can get to kind of like take myself out of it, just hear what you guys say. So this year, AKA Warrior Cup in Chicago, for those of you who don't know, Dawson grew up training under these guys, looking up to these guys for forever, right? He can talk about that more as we go, but these two had the opportunity to compete against each other for one of the most prestigious awards in the whole sport, by far, no questions asked. So competing on stage for Warrior Cup as teammates in the adult division, being the 30-plus winner, being the 18-plus winner for the men's weapons, you guys talk about how sweet that was.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
It's up to you.
I'll go first.
You're younger, so.
Yeah. So it's funny because I had already had goals and aspirations to get one, right? Since I started the black belt division, started watching you guys compete in that night show and winning all of you guys. So that's something that I wanted to do. And so I started the black belt division at 11 years old, right? And by the time I got to adults, that's when I started making those appearances in the night show. So I was getting really close, but it's really hard, especially that tournament. It's really hard to it's really tough to fall up short in that tournament specifically, especially for how hard you have to work. And it's such a big wild card tournament because the prestigiousness of the Warrior Cup. So, and there's so many divisions that you have to get through. So falling up short is tough to digest. And I fell up short throughout many, couple of years in that adult division. So this year was a little different. I just, I don't know. I had a goal that just ultimately clicked. And once I found out that I knew that you were wanting to get in the ring, you were here a lot more. So when I would show up at the school, you were either here or you were either finishing up, right? So it just made sense for me or for us to just have that conversation of, are you free after classes? Because if so, let's push each other, right? And we'd already just had that talk of what if we all got up there together, right? And it happened. And even backstage, we're just sitting there laughing like, wow, this is actually happening.
It's kind of crazy.
It was kind of weird because it's just like, it didn't really, I guess it was in the back of my head, but it really clicked with me. I was like, man, I was like 10 years, 11, 12 years old watching him win. So I was just like, wow, now I was hit, fast forward, here we are. So it was pretty surreal. And yeah, I don't know, you go on ahead and give your spiel.
No, I thought it was awesome. I mean, it's hard to put into words. Yeah. I mean, it really, it's hard to put into words. Being the 30 plus representative, so to speak, getting to that spot. It was way harder than I initially thought. Like, that's a path. Like, the number of divisions to win the divisions, then you have to win the overall, then you have to win like an overall, and then you have to get to stage. Like, they make the old guys and gals work very hard to get there. So that alone, I'm glad that we worked hard. But then just leading up to it, training with Dawson, because we've done it kind of back and forth, but we both were training with the same goal. Like, we both wanted to win, and we both knew that. And so the energy was cool, but like, there wasn't like a rivalry energy at all. It was I'm going to compete to win. He's going to compete to win, but let's actually run for him. I mean, there was one day where we were in here, we like set the timer for like 3 minutes or something, and we just like ran full forms back to back to back for that 3 minutes, just going back and forth. Like, that's just cool. And then for both of us to make it on stage, and I think Jake was actually there that day, or he came in a little bit later. The only reason why I bring that up is because Jake technically qualified for it, but then he had to go do a stunt job in New York. So it could have been 3 of us up there,
Right.
or it should have been. And so, I don't know, it was just crazy.
I think we pushed each other, and we were also honest about our goals on Friday. Not just the Warrior Cup. We had small goals to reach the big goal as well. So my small goal my goals was to be able to make it through my divisions and to be able to be at full capacity to perform all my divisions, right? And even I was transparent with you. I was like, there's probably going to be a moment where I'm going to be very fatigued, and they're going to call us to do an overall grands now.
They did.
And it's exactly what happened. I was sitting in my room, haven't eaten lunch at all, and we were just ordering food, and Ronnie called me saying, "Hey, we're starting runoffs in like 10 minutes. Where are you at?" I said, "Oh, great." So I had to do 2. So I had to go against Jake. You know, he did his thing, and you know, he beat me. So I was like, okay. And that first form, because you know, I just didn't have time to think. I just had to go, and that's what I knew what was going to happen. That's what I was expecting for it to happen, and it did. And then after that, because I had no food, my body was feeling it, the aftermath, right? So I was super exhausted. My heart rate was up after that traditional weapons form. Then there was I think women's weapons was next, and then men's weapons was right after that. So I had to breathe. I had to work on my breath work to calm my heart rate down. And I had new stuff in my form planned. I said, okay, this is the moment that I've been working at. It's like, I want to be able to, you know, there's a saying, it's Ken Bramer said it, or remember, it stuck with me. You don't rise to the occasion. You drop back down to your level of training. So it's like I had new stuff planned for whenever I had to do a form right now when they would expect me to. And it worked. I did it.
Yeah.
So I achieved that goal. It's like stuff like that is a victory. It's like I cherish those little small victories that not everyone knows, you know, to achieve the Warrior Cup. And you just said it too. Like, you had so many rounds you had to go through, and you made it, right? You were able to. You had competition. So
I like what Jackson said in one of the meetings. At a tournament like this, you just got to survive the round. And that's what it felt like.
Exactly,
I was just trying to survive. And I keep thinking, because it's just a competitor in me, I'm like, man, what could have happened if I would have started training 2 months earlier? Like, what, like, you know, because when I made it to stage, like, I had good energy, but I knew in my soul I could have done a better job preparing. I did, like, it was great, but I just looked at myself, because I could feel it. I could feel, so I was very excited this year to get to that level. But I'll climb back there again. I'll do it again.
No doubt.
So,
No doubt.
Yeah, right. So I mean, hey, you came back from an injury, and that's how we all, you know, for those of you that do know you, that's how that's the origins of Double Bow. That's how it got created, and it rest is history. So this allows me to transition into the next question. So competitive edge, let's talk about it. Competitive edge started off from you three guys. The third person is not here, but the third person is Jackson Rudolph. You three guys created this team at the end of 2015 in the Diamond Nationals, and you asked, I was a part of the first draft, and it's through the years now, it's been able to accomplish so much through creating an elite demo team. You guys have had multiple competitors win overall grands. I think Esteban was the first on the team to win an overall grand. Like, I think he was the first, if I'm not mistaken.
That's crazy.
I think so. And then you've had 4 members of that team transition to Paul Mitchell. And I do believe that was a part of you guys' goal. It's 5, correct? Forgive me. 5. Sorry, 5. So, apologies. But reflecting on it, man, like, did you guys, like, ever expect it to make it this big? Like,
I feel like starting it, I would have to say no, but not because we didn't think that it could reach there, but we had such a really cool group of guys and gals that were pushing, trying to accomplish big things in the sport. And we all had connections through to them, but we were all kind of on our own little islands, right? So it was cool to be able to pull all of that together, start to put our heads together, and kind of all get to rowing, right? And push the ship forward and make everybody better. And I think not only as an individual competitor thing and even demo, but I feel like bringing you guys a little bit closer together exploded y'all's progress also, because you're now in close proximity of really your biggest competitors since you started competing, right?
Yeah.
So I can't say that we expected it to come to here, but again, not because we didn't think it could, but it was just kind of a natural progression from being around really awesome people and you guys believing in our mission and us believing in you guys. And I think that's what I've got to say about it. It's been an amazing ride so far, and I look forward to seeing what Competitive Edge continues to accomplish. So
that's good.
I think the only things that basically going to repeat what you said, but it started fully as like a builder team. Like, it wanted to build up athletes, and it really still is. That's still ultimately like the goal and mission of it, through seminars, through the team, through the athletes. Like, it's a builder team. And so when that was kind of the goal, the team just kind of built itself through being like the perfect storm of the right people to kind of lead the charge at different times, because we were all competitors, big time, like fully invested athletes when we started it. So a lot of it fell on like Miss Kathy and Miss Becca to like drive it. And so, which is kind of cool, like the moms, and so, and y'all's mom. I mean, it's like, it took a village. Like, I can't name everyone involved who made it possible because I would fear leaving someone out, but it truly was like a pack-led team. Like, it got to where it is because everyone wanted like the same goal. And so that was, Cole said everything that is true. It's amazing where it's gotten, but I wanted to make sure that I shared that. Like that it's an amazing group of people. We're all crazy. You find that out once you get on the team, but it really is something cool. And
yeah, it's just played out in a really cool way too, because I was able to see the team exist without being a part of it for at least a full year, and that was like right as I was really diving in. And so I was able to come to like that winter camp, the first winter camp that year, and like you were already here on the team, and a couple of other guys that were there were already on the team. And having those camps is such a huge piece of it too, right? Yeah. Obviously, there's the team aspect, but the camps that go along with it have been so, I would say, like influential and important in my career. I'd probably say the same, because like we wouldn't be as close, or like you guys said, would have pushed each other as much without having those training opportunities.
Yep.
Then also to do it as teammates has built this connection that, now as teammates on a different team, as well as with other people that got to switch with us from the same exact team, like the connection has just got way stronger through the years. So, I mean, we've been like teammates for basically a decade now between two different teams, but
That's crazy.
like that connection is pretty tight, and so it's been awesome to see how those camps have played such a huge pivotal role in the building of just the bond and the community that like Competitive Edge and Equip's got it going too, right? Now they're kind of merging into that, community, rather than just you have a team that competes and they just go out there, whatever. And then you run some camps here and there, it's really this full circle program. It's awesome. Yeah, it's really, really cool to see. And it's been such a pleasure to be a part of it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think, so this is something that I personally wanted to ask, because you three obviously are from right where we're at in this building here. And so me growing up, I moved around a lot. I never really had like a set karate school. So I didn't really have people that I would train with. And so I was talking to Dawson about this last night, maybe 2 nights ago, whatever. And to you guys, this is probably just the karate school. It's just where you come train. But from the outside perspective of me, I'm like, you got all the Presleys there, plus Dawson, plus, earlier in the day you had like Zach McBroom, Jacob Bessie, all these different people that are in one spot. You've had amazing competitors being here as just, casual friends that are just hanging out. But it's world champion, best competitors that you would ever think of. People like Danny Etkin, Aiden Considine who have been here. Yep. And to you guys, it's just a karate school.
Yeah. And the students have no idea.
That's the funny part. They don't know. And that is such a crazy perspective to me, because I'm like, these are the best in the world all in one spot. And so, like, have you ever thought, like, obviously it's just a karate school, but have you ever kind of stepped back and been like, this is really special?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was pretty young when we ended up merging in and taking over the school. So I don't remember all of the details, but it feels like we stumbled into a dream. You know what I mean? Like, it was a perfect opportunity for us. And honestly, it was more a training space than an opportunity to even start something like this. So the fact that it had evolved into this, and we've had, countless world champions come here and either teach or be part of the Wilson County Fair demo or whatever. Like, we've brought a lot of people into these four walls that ultimately started as like a training floor. And then, the classes grew and we fell in love with teaching even more. And I guess, as they say, the rest is history. But yeah, this place is definitely special. And I would say a lot of where we've taken martial arts is because of this place. It could have been completely different if we, found a room somewhere and just trained on our own. But the school, we stumbled into it. It's been a wonderful opportunity for our family. But yes, to answer your question in short, very special place here. Very special place.
No, go ahead.
I told him, he asked me this 2 nights ago, and I said, at first, yes, when I was young, when I first went to a NASKA tournament and I saw you guys, it just clicked. I was like, oh, like Mr. Reid can do that, like, so yeah, now it's, for me, I come, I teach here, I work here, train here as well. So, and yeah, my mind keeps spinning everywhere of like, it was in the beginning for sure, because I have CDs and I can't find them. My mom, recording you guys, doing demos here, but there is like Jackson Rudolph, you had Danny, you had Carson
like a
Crawford.
Graduation.
It was like, just for like a belt testing. Right?
Yeah.
That's great. Looking, man, if I could find that CD, because like there was there was one year there was just a lot of people in town. So yeah. But now to me it's just a training space. But I don't know where, if I were to take a martial arts somewhere else, it's hard to think what I'd be doing right now. So, yeah.
to like talking about the martial arts school, I mean, ultimately it comes from, Mr. Warren. Like he has a knack for teaching people what they need to know so that they can take it as far as they want to go. Not supposed to rhyme, but
Bars.
but that is true. I mean, he really, he really has that gift to teach that foundation and like push you off, and then you kind of almost learn how to train. Like a lot of like, I almost wish that we could show you guys the ceilings and the wall. I mean, this school, even though it's primarily a form school, we do fight. It's primarily like a lot of the world champions are forms. We beat the school up. I mean, the ceiling is torn to pieces from our weapons hitting it. I think there's a hole that Dawson kicked the hole one time, or on both sides. Yeah. I mean,
The Dawson corner.
yeah, the Dawson. I mean, our mats are ripped to shreds because those mats felt Dawson's new move first, and so it's just cool. There is an energy here. You have a Warrior Cup in a corner that's hidden by hoodies. I mean, it's just like a crazy, like, we love the sport, but it's always about being better. No matter what you do, what are you gonna do next?
He mentions there's a Warrior Cup in the corner. There's like 23. You walk in, the whole wall is lined with Warrior Cups, and they're not all even here.
No.
Like his is at his house. I mean,
There's 2 more behind
There's
that
2 more,
wall.
yeah,
I think Avery has 2 at the house. I mean,
it's unbelievable.
it's ridiculous.
Whenever I get the chance, I always do it, is give credit to where credit is due, and that's Jason Warren.
Mhm.
I got my black belt under him. I got the foundation of, martial arts under him. Like the amount of times that he, and you guys had to do the same thing, right? Having to drill side kicks.
Yeah.
Having to drill, right, bow for you guys. I had to do the same thing, right? Because he was, that's where he was good at training. Like the amount of times he had me do gay back or, all sorts of sidekick drills just to make sure that sidekick was good. And I'm, young 12-year-old, it was a challenge, but I get at the time, you're so young, I just didn't know how important it was for me. But as I got older, he was also encouraging to let me go for more resources, where that's when I went to you guys for, more questions on the CMX world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in the beginning of my, CMX career, we'll just say that, when I started doing CMX sword, I worked with you, and it was good. So it allowed me to grow even more, and he was always supportive of me in that way. So even now, to this day, like whenever I get the chance to show him something new, I'll show him and he'll give me his take, and
It's still right a lot of times.
right, exactly. No, he has because he's been around the sport, he just has that perspective, and he knows the history pretty well.
Yep.
He really does know the history pretty well, and like would show me like all sorts of. He just has that ball knowledge, right? Ball knowledge of all the trance music that people used back then. He has all the CDs. He knows all the who won the fights in which tournament in which year, right? So he put me on the history as well of NASKA, right? Do you guys have anything else to add with Jason Warren? Got to get him on at some point.
Yeah, you definitely need to have him on here.
He'll be on.
Everybody will need to be prepared for that one.
Yeah.
No, I think the only thing that I'll add to that, because we got to make sure Mr. Warren can still walk through the door frame and let his head get too big. But I will say, I mean, you kind of touched on it. You said he really drove the foundation. You spent countless hours doing the basics, getting there. And what are you known as these days? Mr. Clean, right? So, I mean, all those sidekicks that he's talking about, the gay back, the drills, those long training sessions that maybe feels crazy when you're 12 might end up being what your biggest trait becomes. So I just wanted to add that to it
Yeah.
as we finish that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try to keep it brief. Same thing as Cole said. Can't keep saying too many good things, but it really is the foundation that he teaches. But something that just as we were talking, it just dawned on me as we've worked with some of the athletes on. He didn't just teach us how to do good looking techniques. He also taught us how to hit with those techniques. He made us fight. He made us spar. He made us hit bags. He made us hit. Why that's relevant is I'm working with people that like have strength, have good technique, but sometimes it's missing that grit. It's missing that like something. It's like, we work on the flex and extending and snapping and the timing. And then ultimately, sometimes it's like, once you do that technique, I want you to hit with it. And it's like that connection point, like, oh, you need to do these techniques, but you need to hit something with that technique. And if you haven't spent years hitting bags with techniques, then you don't have that understanding. And so that has been like a more recent thing that I'm like, all right, yeah, we're doing like sport karate chop punches, but you still have to be able to hit. And I think that's something that Jason did a great job with. Like when he did a form, you could tell he was punching bad guys, is what I'll say. Like you could hear it. You could hear it. So
Another nice little like testimony about Mr. Warren, right? Stepped into a busy room in Atlanta to show how to tie a hakama. Allowed to get the video of it to try and replicate it later, right? So I mean, he definitely, clearly has a passion for what he does, and something's working here. You know? I mean, when we look at the results of what you have, and like we said, you got Mr. Clean, right? But across the board, like we just talked about it recently, we had a Battle of Atlanta performance. Cole throws a side kick up there out of nowhere. It's like picture perfect side kick. Like, couldn't be better. It's because that foundation that was built, right? And so, man, it's so important to have that foundation. That's one of the things on the shirt too, right? With equipped foundation. Dang. Tying it all back together. There it is. So yeah, we kind of touched on it briefly as well when it comes to the whole competitive edge team aspect, switching to Paul Mitchell, doing the camps, being a camper, and then now becoming more of the instructor side of it too. And so this is something that I kind of wanted to point out, because anybody listening or anyone who's currently in equipped or currently coming to these seminars could so easily end up in our position. Like it is so possible that it's actually insane. And it's so easy to think it's not possible because it seems like such a huge gap, but it takes consistency. Like I didn't miss a competitive edge camp basically until I got on Paul Mitchell probably, right? And then it became, I'm not missing these camps because now I'm teaching the camps instead, right? And so it's first of all, it shows that what we're teaching works too. Like these things that are happening at these camps are working. When you look at team competitive edge and you have 5 team members jump to the most prestigious team of all time, something there is working. And so I think that's something I wanted to kind of point out is like anybody listening or within equipped or who knows kind of what's going on with competitive edge or knows about Team Paul Mitchell, it so easily could be you. You keep showing up, you keep putting in the work, build the foundation, make connections too, enjoy the process along the way, of course, because like we talked about earlier, if we don't have the balance of the fun and the hard work, it just gets to the point that it's just a burden. So still being able to enjoy it, I think is so important, but it could easily be anybody listening right now. I mean, like we've already talked about, less than 10 years ago, I was walking into this building for CE Winter Camp, not really knowing much sport karate at all. Like, I didn't even know how to yell really, because I'm like, what is yata?
Yeah,
What did you see? What do you mean I saw?
Right, exactly.
So what?
Yeah. And so it's so crazy to think like anybody could end up in this position.
Yeah.
Like, and it's so interesting to go into a camp, like going to Battle of Atlanta this year, going in to teach this competitive edge camp. I think now that I've like thought about this, I'm probably going to go into the perspective of looking at these kids, like any of them has the chance to be here in this position. And it's like, how can we help them get there?
Yeah.
And that is so exciting and like so encouraging.
Absolutely.
And I'm super stoked. So if you're not there, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Listen out. Listen out.
So true. I don't even want to add on anything to that because I felt like that was so
Yeah,
it was very well said. And,
You know,
yeah, but no, I'm just kidding. Us.
Anybody that's watching that knows you, Reid, they know you got something to say. You can add something.
No,
I'm just kidding.
no.
Something he needed to say was saying he doesn't need to say anything.
That's
Yeah.
right.
There you
There
go.
we go.
Listen.
Well, I wanted to go ahead and just ask you guys about, your competitive careers, and from us growing up watching you guys to now you guys to where you are now. But just a little personal question. We've kind of heard it since we've, when we're around each other, right? We've heard some stories on just those moments that'll just last forever for you guys. Now, what have been some of your favorite moments during your competitive careers? It could have been anything, like a win, a loss. Allow you guys to think.
Yeah, I'll start off, and we've been doing this for a long time, so it's very difficult to kind of hone in. But since Reid's standing right here, or sitting next to me, I'll kind of hone in on some things that we're both a part of. The first one being the decision to do sync. We had talked about it before, but it was kind of whatever. And then for some reason, I don't even remember what the cue was, but 2 weeks before US Open, we're like, all right, it's time. Let's do it. Let's put it together. We came in the next day, pretty much built the whole form every day leading up to the US Open, got it synced up, and then boom, show up at US Open, nailed the form, got on stage, and I believe we won that year. We got probably one of my favorite US Open awards. It's like a golden belt with a couple plates on it. But it was that was a really, really cool moment because it was one of those times where, because the sport's so individual, you always have that, like, this is my goal, my goal, my goal. And those 2 weeks, it was our goal, and we were going to go accomplish it. We were going to make it happen. So I think that time will always stick with me. And then honestly, another one, also US Open, the two of us competing against each other. Somehow this guy beat me. I don't know what happened. But like, being able to kind of share the moment together. I ran over, gave him a hug from behind. I was always just as excited, if not more excited, for my siblings to win over me. I don't know why.
Same.
But I think standing up on that stage together, going through that division, one of us taking it was awesome. You don't get many of those moments in life on your own. You definitely don't get as many standing right there with your brother. So I'll definitely cherish those two a lot.
Sweet.
Amen.
I think we got an amen.
Yeah. Those are just those are powerful. Makes me, because a lot of mine are those same moments. I think that's the blessing of a family doing this whole sport through and through to the highest level. I do want to bring up, do you not remember the reason, or did you omit the reason?
Telling the story, I forgot.
Okay, so we're just competitive people, and we love Jackson and Kyle Montagna, but we are also competitive at the same time. They were doing a sync bow form, and at one point in time, double bow was our thing, but they did a little bit of double bow in their sync. And so in that moment, at the back of that Battle of Atlanta room, we looked at each other and said, we're going to do this, and we're going to win in 2 weeks. And then we did. And so that was, at least that's how I remember it. But and it's all love. It's the competitive nature. And at that time, I think double bow was still on the newer side.
Yeah.
It was still very fresh, and so we wanted to take like ownership of it, even though it was like 2 moves in their form. I think it was like, oh wow, they have 2 bows and gone, But in high respect to both of those. But that, of course, that was the reason to fill in the gaps. For different reasons, that U.S. Open that Cole is mentioning will always be something that I think both of us will remember, because it was highly emotional it was one of those cool, we did a thing type of opportunity, because we trained a lot together, and we always kind of had the mentality of we are competing for one of us to win. Like, that is what we wanted. And then we both knew that we had Jackson Rudolph, Tyler Weaver, Jacob Pinto, Shaheen Jahanbash, Thor. Like, we had, and I don't want to leave anybody out, we had so many people, and I think a lot of them were in that U.S. Open. And so for one of us to win that, it was very cool. And I remember the crowd was very into it as well.
We were in that
We were in
crowd,
that
man.
crowd.
Yeah,
That was crazy.
it was one of the big battles between the three of us, meaning Jackson, Cole, and me. It was one of the battles, and it's hard to talk about, because by no means do I say this story in an arrogant, egotistical. It has none of that attached to it. But it was one of those moments. I went last. Jackson went right before me. We both hit our form. He got his scores, which I think was like 10 and then 6 9s. And so at that moment, you're like, crap, did I just get spanked? You know? Like, but then you start thinking, wait, hold on. I think the 8s went to somebody else. Like the 8s were not there, or the 8s have been taken. I don't think I did a 9.5 form. I really think that it was like there. And then so that was one of the. Then when the scores came out for me, that's where it was 1 9, and then I believe the rest were 10s, or 2 9s and then 5 10s or something like that. So it was just have never been able to replicate that. Almost going from dang to wait, there's still a chance, you know. And you see the moment. You can go find the video. Cole runs out, like, it was just cool. I don't know, like it was something. And then I think he kicked our butt at Diamonds. So I mean, it just, you know, it was a full circle. I'll say these. I don't want to talk too long, but I'll go. Another time was. It is no longer my last time competing in CMX weapons, but it was the last time competing in CMX weapons. For whatever reason, I don't even fully remember. I think there was a few things I wanted to accomplish in forms, so I stopped doing weapons for like my last year. But I decided to go back in at battle and prepare for US Open to go there. We had another one of those battles between the three of us and whoever else was in that division, and Cole spanked me and Jackson. And for whatever reason, I just remember that, and I just think it's the coolest thing, because it, like, I don't think it was close. I mean, it like Jackson and I think shared scores or something, and Cole just won straight out. And so I just always being like, that was one of my most proud moments, because I know how much of a battle Cole had to face, not against anyone else, just him. Like, and so for him to pull that out, it was just so cool, you know. And so at a lot of CE camps, people have heard me say, at my last time competing, Cole has kicked my butt, you know. Yeah. So so that one's a big one for me. And then the most recent Warrior Cup. Really don't. I'll just say the story. I'll try not to over elaborate on it. It has nothing to do with competition or anything. There used to be a tournament called Dixieland Nationals that was pretty much like a Christian tournament. Like Dewey would always had a cross at the back of the stage, and with doing double bow, you have a very unique opportunity to where you can make a cross with the two bows. Like, it's something that we talked about way back when Dixieland had the cross at the back of the stage. But for whatever reason, I don't know if it never felt right. I don't know how to explain it, but it never happened. And then I stopped competing, and the thought kind of drifts away, and it disappears. And then I'm doing a lesson with a young kid named Nash, and he was telling me his goals. Like, he wants to be on competitive edge. He wants to win a Grands. And then his dad stopped him. He's like, you left out the most important one. He's like, no, Dad, I don't know if I want to share that. And his dad's like, no, you always share this one. And so that goal that he was not sharing was he wanted to be closer to God and be closer to Jesus. And that led into a conversation of, you never should hide that goal. You should never be fearful of showing your faith or declaring your faith or your friendship or relationship that you have. And in that conversation, with 2 weeks to go to Warrior Cup, God made it very clear what I was supposed to do on the Warrior Cup stage. And it happened, So try not to get emotional, talk about it, but like it was just crazy to have the opportunity. And then to know now how close I was to falling short when 4 weeks later my knee explodes. So it's like literally like that could have happened at any point. So it's I don't know. I mean, so that's just a testament to faith and, so yeah. And that's a, yeah.
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 Wow. Yes, indeed. Amen.
Yeah.
There you go. That's super cool. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's cool. Yeah. Nice. Well, we're going to do a little fun switch up. And so we're going to switch roles. You guys are going to become the interviewers. So if you have either, you can have a direct question for me, a direct question for him, or you can have one for both of us. You can have one for both. We'll go through that. As you guys think about it, we'll look at some of the comments that have been coming in real fast. We got the man, Elijah Burnett, always supporting. We appreciate you, man. I know this was talking about just the equipped community, man, and the way you guys are keeping everything rolling. So it's so cool.
Miss Pyle.
So cool.
Watch out for her. Battle. She's coming.
Let's go. The 5 Tenants crew down in Florida.
What's up?
Tapping in. We got Leandro. Congrats on the tournament this weekend. You guys, yeah. I mean, obviously the family's heavily involved with the tournament, getting everything running really well. So, yeah, it was a great event. I was even competing just a little bit, just testing some things out before the summer stretch here. So, some good stuff. Might have some surprises. We'll see. I don't know.
What?
I don't know. I really don't know. And Skylar. Oh, yeah. What's up, Skylar? There we go.
What's up, Skylar?
So we got a good squad jumping in here. So
Gotta look out for that guy too. I think he'll be at Battle and in the CE camp, and
man.
it's cool because that's like a crossover student.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Skylar's awesome.
Yeah, he's a man. We're ready.
What do you guys feel was like your breakout moment? Like when it can be a win, it can be a grand, it can be a runoff, it can be a division, or it could be one of those crazy nights when you realize, wow, I'm up at the martial arts school or in my training room at midnight, the lights are off and I'm actually still training, I'm going to make it. Like when was the moment where you're like, I'm going to do everything there is to do in this sport and nothing will stop me?
I have a kind of obvious one, and then one that's not as obvious, more of the oh, I can make this happen type of thing. That was more of just a personal thing. The obvious one would be Battle of Atlanta in 2018. Up until that point, I had never won any NASKA divisions. I was doing ProMac and NASKA pretty much the full circuit of each at the same time. So it was just a lot of competing. So I was gaining a lot of experience in a short amount of time because I was basically getting double what most people would do with one circuit. So I could tell personally I was growing a lot. I felt like I was making a lot of progress. And then it was showing in results too. I was just kind of climbing up, which I've always talked about. Small goals have been so important. Like starting out, I was trying to get top 10. That was a huge win for me starting out. And that just kind of whittles its way down to top 8 so I can get extra points and I get to top 4. Oh, that means I could be the top 3. I'm on the podium, right? Now I'm second place. I just got to win, So it just whittling the way, all the way down. And so 2018 was when I kind of got all the way to that eventual goal. And so Battle of Atlanta that year, I'd won my first ever division. I think it was just creative weapons. And that was a stacked division too. I mean, Esteban Tremblay was in it. I think you guys were up already. But Aiden Kennedy was still in that. I mean, there were some other really, really great competitors there. And I took that win for the first time ever. So going into the next day, now I've got a runoff situation, which I've never been a part of. I think I might have actually went last in that runoff. There's a funny aspect to it because I slammed my bow on the ground at the end and like almost fell when I stood back up, and I was like, ah, and like it was pretty embarrassing. But the form itself was like great until that point. So from then on, I've never slammed my bow on the floor ever again, and I won't do it ever again. But I ended up winning that too. And so to go from first ever NASKA win after like 4 years straight trying to get one, that was huge. To take the runoff, it's like, whoa, that's an even bigger step. So then you go into the night show that night. I'm like, wow, this is huge. And so at that point, of course, Jackson, knowing the history, was like, you know, if you win tonight, this is history. I'm like, oh, great. This is extra pressure.
Thanks,
right?
Coach. I didn't need that right now.
And I was like, okay, well, let's just run it back. I mean, I've done it twice now.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I guess I can do this, right?
Yeah.
And so then on stage, I was against Mason Bumba, you know, which is killing it with the fighting game right now. Yeah, and I ended up winning that one too. So to go from never having won anything in NASKA ever to winning the division, winning your first runoff, and now you've won an overall all of a sudden. That, I mean, like, from there, things just took off. Like, because of that, I was then on U.S. Open stage right after.
Yeah.
So I got selected for the U.S. Open ISKA stage. And so that's like, whoa, I just got my first ever win. Now I'm on ESPN.
Yeah.
Like, that's a huge jump. So in terms of wins or, you know, career kind of accolades, that was definitely the biggest. But I would say the one prior to that, that made me be like, I can do this as a thing, like as a sport and as a hobby, I guess, was actually in this building at the first ever winter camp I was at. And Jackson told me, he's like, look, if you don't start performing, you're never going to win. I was like, at the time, I was like, dang, like, are you serious? And he was like, yes. But it's exactly what I needed to hear, because I was pretty shy at that point. I remember that same camp, I was like kind of getting a half gainer, and you were like, just throw a cork. And I was like, no way. I was terrified. And we have the nice spring floor here and everything. I would have been fine.
Yeah.
But I was like, there's no way I'm trying it.
Just do it.
But those things like really made me feel like, well, it showed me that you guys had the confidence in you, that you could do it. Yeah. And so that was when I was like, oh, other people believe in me. So they see something that I guess I have. So I should, I guess, tap into it and believe it too. And from then on, it skyrocketed there. Earlier on, I think like 2016 that was, right in the beginning of 2016 or end of 2015. And then that 2018 moment in terms of career kind of really pushed things forward. I would say that's it.
It's wild. People should really pay attention to, I think he said 4 years of not winning.
Yeah.
And then it clicked.
Yeah. First NASKA tournament was Battle of Atlanta 2014. My first NASKA win was Battle of Atlanta 2018.
It's wild. And people want to do it at like their first one and then get mad at the judges because they stink. It's like sometimes it takes time.
Yeah.
And now look.
Doing all right.
Good job.
Yeah. Thank you.
Nice. That's a tough one because I just felt like I had a lot of ups and downs to where there was a lot of, when I say ups, I did realize there were moments where I was like, I can do this. And then there was times where just how I would lose, I would feel low where I felt like maybe I can't do this. There was just a lot of ups and downs like that. So it's tough. Well, I'll just like go in the order of how I worked my way up. It's the exact same. I started competing in the black belt division in 2015. I didn't win my first division, and it was a forms division. It wasn't even a weapons division. It was 2018 at Dixieland. Out of all the tournaments, that took me 3 years, and I lost in the runoffs. I messed up, right? But that was a win because out of 3 years of just having to work my way up into top 10, top 5, top 3, and then finally winning. Like that's the small victories, right? And I guess in my head, I really just, at the time, I didn't really like take it as seriously like I should have in terms of the small victories. And I think that's why I had a lot of low lows and a lot of like just deep thoughts of like, can I really make this happen? So, and then I didn't win my first overall grands until 2020. So 5 years. It took me 5 years to win, and that was with weapons that time, and I won at Compete Nationals and Deep Division, right? Mason Bumba is one of them. You have this guy, you had like PJ Clark, you had Jake, the wild card in there. So yeah, it was tough. So, and after that, I think I definitely believe after that moment. No, I'm sorry, I skipped. So after, yes, that was technically true. Didn't win my first overall, but first time making it to the night show was in like 2019, Ocean States. So a little small victory there, lost, but a whole nother year goes by. That's when I won my first overall. So then the world shuts down, right? And then I come, and then it's just like no martial arts. So it's like we couldn't come to class here. It was all like online. So it's like I went through a lot of stages of like, I don't even know if I'm going to be doing martial arts anymore. Like that was really tough. So until we finally got back, I started competing again. Like there was one virtual tournament where it was a big deal. Like they made a bunch of different divisions, right? And they made like 14, 17 weapons, boys' weapons. It was us three, like myself, Ben, and Esteban, and just didn't feel the same. Like it was just like it was. I lost, and it was a way for me. It definitely sparked my competitive nature again. So I was like, okay, so I can go to battle, and I'll go back to U.S. Open because those two tournaments are happening. So I lost the runoffs in battle, and that just like put even more of a spark in me. And by U.S. Open in 21, made it to the night show, and I ended up winning 3 ISKA overall grands. And that just, I think after that, it was one of those where I just had to just go like back to back, right? And just like without thinking about it, and I almost won 4, right? Which, could, again, deep division, and we're all human, right? Judges are all human. Things happen. Mistakes happen, right? What we were able to do is figure out that mistake and move forward, right? So, and like, still crazy division. So, 3 ISKA wins still for me, like,
Not bad.
Yeah.
yeah.
No.
So like,
No.
I
Another
guess
day in the
that-
office, I guess.
right. So I guess it really just after that, it really just clicked. I said, okay, well, yeah, I guess I can. I'll make this work. So, and again, like I still like, there were still more times where I went through highest highs, lowest of lows, and I think so. I don't want to mention just the wins. That is what helped me realize, but I also think it's the people as well. The people that I was surrounded with that helped me believe. And compliments can go such a long way. So yeah. So that's my answer.
Nice. Great question.
All right. I see Jaden's in here. Thomas is in here. We had Skylar was saying some stuff earlier, so I'm gonna kind of ask a question for these guys that are watching. When you talk to students and things, you find out, maybe they train 20 minutes a day, or maybe they train one form, or just do their tricks or something like that. And I don't want you to answer like, this is what my training routine is, this is what I do, but if you could put one word or phrase that makes your training more impactful, like intention would be one word, you know what I mean? Like, you know exactly what you're going to go in and accomplish, or, you know, a word that Reid and I like to use is grit, right? Like, just the raw, like, I'm going to put everything that I have into this training session. So like in a digestible, small way,
Yeah.
what would you say is the biggest difference between how you train now and maybe how you trained before you had that realization of like, okay, I can do this, or how you train now versus, you know, how you started training? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
What is the big difference? What do you feel like makes that explosion of progress you guys were talking about?
Yeah. One for me that's been a lot more recent, and I'm trying to, like you guys said, I'm trying to pass this to the students as well, because I've seen the impact it's made on me personally. And so I know if the students can apply it, it's going to work for them as well. Has been aggression. So kind of going along with grit, and like you guys are saying. Because if we take what our sport is, it's very performative, and I don't have a physical target in front of me. But like you said earlier, I should know how to throw every technique as if there was a physical target in front of me, and it would still work.
Mhm.
Like, I would not choose to throw my bow into a strike if I was in a fight. But the strike on the end of it is going to have some snap to it. It's got to have some good technique to it. So obviously there's a different approach to the strategy if I was going to be in a fight versus doing a performance. But within the performance, trying to add in the aggression and, like you said, intention too, has been another one that's been huge for me too. So thinking, I'll go through the form slowly as well, and go through each move, and like I'll have like a punching bag or something, and I'll slowly, not even fast, I'll just put it there and then press against it just to feel pressure on that technique. Just hold it on a forward strike and feeling what a connection would be like on the other end of it, because we go through our forms with no contact of anything. Open hand especially, it's going to look very different. Like if I have a wave master and I go chop punch, ridge chop punch, it's going to look a little bit different if I want to make that effective, but I have to know how to make it effective so that I can then adapt to the performative style without making it seem like it's just throwing my hands around. You know? So I would say aggression and intention, but also consistency. Consistency in terms of performance. I want my performances to be consistent, but I want my training to be consistent too. Because if I train 2 days a week and I take 3 days off and I do another 2 days, that's 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, and then 2 more steps forward, 3 steps back. And so that's not going to help a ton. You know, you're still training every now and then, but if I can train maybe less than I would do in just those 2 days, but every single day, now I'm still pushing myself forward consistently. And so it's that mindset of 1% better every single day stacks up quick, but it's got to be consistent. And like somebody said, discipline comes into play with that, because you can't stay consistent without discipline. Motivation can get you a little bit of fire, but discipline is going to carry you all the way.
Okay, yeah, it's good. 2 things.
Validated.
Yeah,
Good.
It's good. It's
Good
good.
word.
So, go ahead. Solid answer. No, I'd say to try to piggyback off of that, I want to comment on 2 things. So, one phrase is I've been like this. I've been saying this to some of my students that I'm working with is simple and sinister, right? So, and doing that and making sure we are striking with intention behind it, with grit, with power. So how do you get power? First of all, you have to have that martial arts foundation, that background. But so it's not just training the martial arts, it's practicing it. So like come here teaching classes. So when you're teaching, you're learning twice, right? Because you're thinking more on how to teach a student on, well, there's all sorts of students, right? And they learn differently. So trying to, explain to them on how to perform, execute the technique. So, and also the physical side, right? Guys, we are athletes at the end of the day. We want to make this sport legit. So throwing a punch like a fighter would, right? So striking with intention. So, so physical exercise it also needs to be a lifestyle as well. And that's what there's also another saying, once a black belt, always a black belt too. So when you always, exercise in your body right? Training your body, that's one thing that I firmly believe in. And there's so many competitors in our sport that, you know, you can tell that they train and exercise and makes them like legit athletes, right? So, and the other one I would say is structure. So structuring your form to make it you at the end of the day. So it's there was let's just name it like a random competitor, like a Cole Presley, and let's say like, why would I structure my form to look like stuff that Cole has done? Why would I want to be the next Cole Presley when I can be the first Dawson Holt? So structure your form like it's like how you're supposed to do it, like how you would think about it, right? Or may not be the best way of saying it, but make it you, right? Be yourself. So structure it well to where everything flows, you know, one after the other, right? So even when it comes to having a good blend of speed striking, power striking, the slow dramatic moves that brings, you know, performance elements in the form, right? Because CMX competitors are big into that, right? But what we talked about earlier, like figuring out other ways to catch your weapon and stick, right? And for the judges and for the rest of the audience to be entertained by that and to fully like dissect, like, whoa, that was impressive, right? So structure it like it's you at the end of the day, because it's you. So even compete with the music that you enjoy doing it with, not someone else's music too, right? Be yourself. So structure. That's what I would have to add on that.
I like it.
Yeah, I like that. Cool. Well, thanks for switching the roles for us.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
That was fun. That was fun.
Yeah, it's nice to like give an answer.
Yeah.
So cool. Well, this has been great. I mean, everybody tuning in. There you go, right there. Elijah's got us. Be
Boom.
yourself, man.
That's right.
There you go. Be yourself.
Nobody can be,
That's right.
but you.
Yeah. That was tough. All right, so we had a ton of great comments. Thank you to everybody who was tuning in. I know a lot of people in the comments here that have been influenced by you guys heavily, as well as us two right here in front of you. So doing a lot of really great stuff with Equipped, with Competitive Edge, with your own training, just keeping up with the martial arts in general, you know. So it's going to be awesome. We're super looking forward to Atlanta. If you guys are going to be there, you've got to sign up for Competitive Edge Camp. It's going to be an amazing time. I mean, you heard the lineup of instructors. Insane. So to have that much knowledge in one spot on the sport, it's something you can't miss out. So if you're going to be there, you got to get registered. It's going to be a great time. So thank you to everybody for tuning in. Thanks to you guys for joining us. It's been an amazing time.
Yeah,
Appreciate
Thank you guys.
having us.
Thank you.
Of course. This has been another episode of The Clean Truth, and we will see you all next time.